What's up, guys? This is Sean,
This is Zach.
and we're from the Yelling from the Stands podcast. And today, we're here to talk to you about Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone and computer.
One cool thing Anchor can do for you is it will distribute your podcast across all platforms such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts.
So in a nutshell, it's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Tonight, we talk MLB postseason, Week 4 fantasy football, Titans COVID outbreak, and how putting mayonnaise on a burger can be deadly.
Ladies and gentlemen, broadcasting from Southern California, this is Yelling from the Stands.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Yelling from the Stands. This is Sean, your host. Welcome to episode number 25. We're going to have a quick one for you tonight. It's not going to be as long as normal, probably, unless I get to rambling. But we're under construction right now. We are in Yelling from the Studios, or Yelling from the Stands Studios, my bad. It's under construction right now. So as you know, we have been working on getting you the video set up like we talked about for our YouTube for quite some time so that we can do our live streams and that you could listen to the podcast actually live on video. And we've done some work recently getting it set up. It's coming along. We're in the midst of actually moving the entire studio setup across the room. Kind of whole new configuration, getting it ready with lights and all that for the studio stuff. So bear with me. Figured I'd hop in tonight. We're watching Monday Night Football right now. I'm watching the Falcons and the Packers. Ooh, Packers up 7-0. We're in the second quarter, just started. And we got some news tidbits for you tonight. Hope you guys are doing all right. Fantasy football wise, this weekend sucked for me. Pretty much lost every game. I think I lost like 2 out of 3. So my SFL league, I'm 0-4. That is unlike me, like crazy. That's the league where I had actually second overall pick. And California's rolling blackouts hit me about 30 seconds before my fucking second pick. So thank you, Governor Newsom. He actually saved me from drafting Saquon Barkley. But I can say for sure I would have much rather had Ezekiel Elliott or somebody more so than Darius Leonard, who I drafted second overall. So needless to say, I'm 0-4 in that fucking league. And I'm a little bitter, but I'm making it work. I picked up Michael Thomas in some trades, waiting for him to get healthy. And then FFL, we're doing okay, but I'm in gridlock right now. I think I'm going to end up losing this week, though. Oh, all right. We got a few things to talk about tonight. We're going to get into some of the fantasy implications that we've had. I'm sorry. Been drinking for about an hour and a half now, so if this gets sloppy, I'm sorry. This whole setup is strange to me. I'm used to talking at my computer desk, having all this set up a very simple way. Now I'm at a table across the room with cameras pointed at me and lights everywhere. This is strange. So let's get going. All right, this article was sent to me by my buddy Matt, friendly Mr. Deer Jerky. So an Arkansas man was sentenced to more than 100 years in prison for a fatal shooting over unwanted mayonnaise on his hamburger order. 35-year-old Arkansas shot 2 people last year after they arrived at his home with the wrong fast food order. Andra Crockett from Blytheville, Arkansas. All right. Shot 37-year-old Priscilla Aldridge and his own brother for the incorrect food order on March 25th. So this is fucking last year. Neighbor heard Crockett say, "Bitch." That's actually edited, but we don't edit. "Bitch, you know I don't like mayonnaise on my hamburger." Crockett is facing up to 130 years in prison for the shooting. Holy shit. Dude, I've got some fucked up orders before, but man, I usually just go with it. You don't fuck with people that fucking make your food, man. Haven't you ever watched Waiting? Well, that's pretty crazy. Good way to start off the show. Man, I feel so weird shooting shit like this. Everything's out of place. Trying to watch football on my phone, and I feel like the sound sounds different. Everything. I'm a control freak when it comes to how the sound works and all this stuff, so this is bugging me. So you'll probably hear me fidgeting a lot this episode as I kind of get things set how I like them. That sounds a little bit better. All right, let's jump into some MLB postseason. To be totally honest, I'm all fantasy football right now, so I'm not much into the baseball. I know the NLDS and ALDS brackets are coming together. So we have got Tampa Bay and New York. They haven't played yet. Astros and A's. Astros are up 1-0. Dodgers and the Padres. Dodgers. Wait, am I even reading this right? Yeah, I'm not even reading that right. Houston is up on the A's 1-0, but the Dodgers, they are playing the Brewers and they're up 2-0, where the San Diego Padres are playing the Cardinals and they're up 2-1. So shit, that one's going quick. All right, and then you got the Marlins and the A's. No. Miami won. They're going to play the A's. I think I fucked this whole thing up. Just go to MLB.com/postseason and save me the time of making myself look like an idiot. Baseball's happening. News. All right. Next little story we got. After the Lakers' loss to the Miami Heat, series is now 2-1 in the NBA Finals. Hope you got the chance to actually watch some. I have not. I'm too damn busy. All right. Fans make a petition for Kyle Kuzma not to receive a ring if the Lakers win, and there is an update to this article. Wow, where do I start? Mark J. Spears says, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Twitter is for jokes. Lakers forward Kyle Kuzma when oddly asked about social media haters. So apparently people came out and started a petition. Kyle Kuzma should not get a ring if the Lakers win. At the time of this article, it was 1,400 people have signed. I'm sure there's a hell of a lot more people have signed than that. It looks like it went viral. I wonder if I could get a link to this. So it says it's clear that fans feel that Kuzma has failed to live up to the expectations that Los Angeles had for him. He's a liability to the team. Kyle Kuzma is a fuckboy, and he shouldn't get a ring if the Lakers win the 2020 NBA Finals, the petition reads. As of writing, the petition has collected over 4,000 signatures, seeking a max of 5,000. However, this performance doesn't really seem to be affecting the Lakers. The team pushed through the playoffs with a 14-3 overall record and a 2-0 lead in the finals. Now it's 2-1. For his part, Kuzma scored 3 and 11 points, respectively, in the first two games of the series. I don't know much about the Lakers. I'm a Thunder fan. I thought Kuzma was a good talent, but looking at his blonde hair and stuff, he does look kind of like a fuckboy. So I don't know. I can't really comment on that, but if your true fans are coming out saying, we ain't giving your ass a ring, dude, you better fucking get that shit fixed. Some guy on Twitter said, any fan signing this ish about Kyle Kuzma does not know basketball. Anyone paying attention can see the work he put in during the break. On his playmaking and defense, he's no longer just a shooter. He's constantly moving without the ball and playing D. Wow, there's a lot of back and forth on this. I mean, it's kind of pompous for one part to say, hey, you're not going to get a ring when we haven't fucking won a ring yet. Let's talk about that. But I mean, deep down, everybody fucking knows the Lakers are going to win this. He have done a great job, and we got to respect them, but shit, I don't think they're doing it. Kind of like how Matt Ryan's not doing it right now. That's my quarterback. I need him to put up about 30 points and not throw it to Calvin Ridley, which I think he's doing one of those things. But yeah, Lakers fans, oh, I'm so sorry. You're going to win a title. You're going to get a ring. Don't give it to the guy with bleach blonde hair. Get it. Feel your struggles. Put your fires out. All right. Pac-12 unveils 7-game football schedule for 2020. Pac-12 issued a 7-week conference schedule for the 2020 season, which will kick off November 7th at 9 a.m. when USC hosts Arizona State. The conference championship game is set for December 18th. Each team will face 5 divisional opponents and 1 school from the opposite division before a 7th game on championship weekend. So it's crazy how you're seeing like the Big Ten and the Pac-12 come out afterwards and be like, yeah, we're going to play now. We're going to do this. We really need to get this done. Like, this has been such a cluster. Such a mess. And the Big 12, holy shit. Most people would be like super stoked to have their team atop their conference, Power 5 conference. Let's see if I can get some standings pulled up here. Because that's where Oklahoma State is. We're only undefeated in the conference right now, and we're ranked number 10 in the nation. Do I think we're good enough to be 10? No way. We look bad. Of course, we've had a third-string true freshman quarterback playing the last couple games. Spencer Sanders will probably be back next week. It didn't make sense to really start him with Kansas, but we're going into Kansas State next. I think that's who we got next. Shit, I might be wrong again. Let's pull it up. Show me OSU's full schedule. Damn, this website sucks, man. So the Cowboys rolled over the Kansas Jayhawks, 47-7. No shocker there. I wonder how long Les Miles is going to be there before he loses his job. Oh, look at this team stats for this game. Total yards, OSU's 593 to Kansas 193. Passing yards, 298 to Kansas's 92. Rushing, 295 to 101. They got 100 yards rushing on us. That's not bad. Penalties, we actually had more penalties with 5. We had 31 first downs. They had 12. Third downs, we were 9 for 18. They were 1 for 14. Fuck, that'll make you want to eat some grass. And then fourth downs, 1 for 1. They were 1 for 3. Time of possession, we were up by 2 minutes, and we beat them 47-7. I don't know. Let's take a bet on how much longer Les Miles is going to be there, because I have a feeling that dude's fucked, man. And if he loses his job at Kansas, he's done, man. Might as well just head to Arby's and meet up with Mangino. Talk about the good old days. All right, what do we got next? But Pac-12's coming in. It's gonna add some stuff to college football. You're gonna get a little bit more competition in there. The polls are gonna look a little bit easier. But I think the nation quickly realized how bad Big 12 conference is, and that's really rough to say because that's my teams. But the SEC is putting it on. The Big 12 looks like shit. Tom Herman probably gonna be fired from Texas soon. Let me see if there's any update on that, by the way. Man, it's everywhere. They're already starting to throw other names out there. And they just lost to TCU 33-31. Damn. There's a good chance Tom Herman loses his job within the next few games. If not, just at the end of the season. Speaking of losing your job, breaking news this morning. Bill O'Brien is fired. I'm mad and I'm happy at the same time. I'm mad because I didn't hear Adam Gase's name. That piece of shit still has a head coaching job. And it's fucking bothering me because he's horrible and he's a little crazy and we're pretty sure he's on coke. But Bill O'Brien, I liked Bill for a long time. He came out of the Belichick coaching tree, had that kind of no-nonsense attitude, came into Houston, really beefed up the defense, brought the offense around. They were competitive for years, had some star players. When he got the responsibility to take over the GM spot, I was worried because really hasn't been anybody that's done that. That's been super successful. So obviously the number one thing he's done that stood out was he traded away one of the best wide receivers probably in the history of the game, DeAndre Hopkins, for Mr. David Johnson, a washed up running back who hasn't had a good season in about 32 games. It didn't do too bad. David Johnson had a first game in Houston, but you gave up DeAndre Hopkins for that. So the Texans fired his ass today. And I guess there was rumors going around about people came out in the organization talking about how Bill O'Brien, when he would fire people while he was still there, would throw the F-bomb around and say, get the fuck off my property and campus or whatever they called it. Like he made a big show of it. And they made a point to talk about how the owner or whoever did the firing didn't treat the situation like that. So I think Bill O'Brien's a little pompous. He kind of seemed like he thought he had it all together and all figured out. Once he gave away DeAndre, though, he fucked up. That's a straight fuck up, man. Just watch one game with that guy. I don't care what's going on. He said he was sick of his baby mama drama. Baby mama's coming around. Like, get over it, dude. If that's all you got to deal with, fucking deal with it. Have you seen that guy catch a fucking ball? Either way, he's gone. I'm sure he'll snag another job sometime this season. Maybe he'll end up at the Jets when Gates gets fired. Who the fuck knows? Jets are pretty good at making shitty hires, so go for it. But college football landscape right now is pretty crazy. It's definitely not what you're used to. This time of year. We're usually starting to talk playoff pictures for conferences, conference schedules, getting into the meat and potatoes of them, and really starting a good hard look at these rankings. They're all over the place right now. Let's look at the top 25 college rankings, because I feel like there's some teams in there. It's going to blow your mind. Let's see. NCAA top 25. We're going to go to the AP poll. All right, AP poll for this week. We got Clemson overall, number 1, Alabama 2, Georgia 3, Florida 4, Notre Dame 5. I mean, it's fucking ACC, and the rest is SEC and an independent. Well, I guess Notre Dame's ACC this year. Ohio State, number 6. Wow, they haven't even played a game. Miami, 7. North Carolina, 8. Penn State, 9. Oklahoma State, 10. And yes, I do think we're a little overrated, but I'll take the 10 for now because it won't last long. 11 is Cincinnati. That won't last long either. Fucking Big East school. 12 is Oregon. 13, Auburn. 14, Tennessee. 15, BYU. 16, Wisconsin. 17, LSU. 18, SMU. Wow. Haven't seen that in a while. 19 is Virginia Tech. 20, Michigan. 21, Texas A&M. 22, Texas. 23, Louisiana. Wow. 24, Iowa State, who just knocked out the Sooners. 25, Minnesota Golden Gophers. And one team you won't find in here is the Oklahoma Sooners. First time they've been knocked out of the top 25 from, I think it was 2016. So after their 2 losses in a row, which who the fuck knows what's going on. Spencer Rattler, their quarterback, redshirt freshman out of, I think it was, I can't remember where, somewhere in Arizona. If you guys haven't watched QB1 on Netflix, he was the star of that show, him and 2 other quarterbacks on season 3, I believe. I was super excited to watch him because he's fucking good. He's really fucking good. I was so pumped. And when I turned on the Kansas State game, first quarter, he's just dominating. I'm like, this is over. Come back fourth quarter just to see what the score was. Boom, they lose. What the fuck? Got some shit to figure out in Norman, guys. But college football landscape is strange. I can't get into it. I don't know if it's just because Oklahoma State, my team, can't really get it together and the Big 12 is a fucking pit. I'm not sure. I can't figure it out. But maybe it's the COVID. Maybe it's these schedules. Maybe it's the Pac-12 and the Big 10 starting month after we did. Maybe it's feeling like there is no national championship. I don't know. But this just does not feel like football to me. But that being said, I have been really into NFL lately, more so than college. Maybe that's what I'm into. So, speaking of NFL, let's get into our NFL news. Right off the bat, we've been talking about it all week long. Titans fucked up big time with COVID-19. But as of right now, the Titans clear major COVID-19 hurdle in pursuit to resume play in Week 5, but must repeat it to meet the Bills. So, finally, the Titans receive good news. That's something they haven't garnered in days in the wake of the COVID-19 outbreak, to which they had up to 18 positive tests over the past 6 days. They were forced to reschedule their Week 4 matchup with the Steelers, fucking over plenty of fantasy players in the meantime, but more importantly, making people sick. You gotta remember, we're human beings. Love one another. But anyways, fantasy got fucked up. They'll now meet October 25th, forcing the Ravens to move their Week 8 bye to Week 7 or to face the Steelers in Week 8. The point being is even fantasy football and NFL in general is going to be different this year, guys. I'm going to go over some tidbits at the very end of this episode and break down, just off the top of my dome, how I'm attacking COVID as a fantasy manager and a commissioner, and making sure that I'm ready to face whatever hurdles come my way. So, for the Titans, the first day of completely negative tests is a major step in the right direction, and the Titans must simply test negative for a second straight day in order to get a green light from the league for return to football, because right now they're still shut down, so nobody's practicing. So, if not, their Week 5 battle with the Bills will then also be in jeopardy, and the league will again find itself attempting to pivot and reschedule, although there are rumors some would rather the regular season simply pause for 2 weeks to allow this storm to pass, which I think is bullshit. The storm is in Tennessee. I'm sorry, Nashville. The storm is not everywhere. We've had to find some coaches after week 1 and 2 for not wearing their fucking masks on the sidelines. Just wear them. God, I know they're annoying and they suck, but just put the shit on. It does help. And we'll get through it. But to pause a whole season because one team? I mean, I know the Patriots had one COVID case. Shit. I mean, probably more than one, because I think they had 2 or 3. I could be mistaken. But I think that's kind of a freaking heinous idea. Let's just pause the whole season because we can't fucking throw. We can't play in Tennessee. Sorry, guys. I like you, Tennessee, and I like Tannehill. But that's kind of bullshit. I don't see no pausing. I could see it if like 5, 6, 7 teams, and now you're talking about upwards of 10 games getting postponed. Hell yeah. Fucking stop the season. Let's take a break. Let's get all this cleared up. Do what you got to do. But to stop the whole season, no way. Let's not punish everybody. So the Titans had their run in right after, was it the beginning of last week? Yeah. Shit, days are running together. Last week it started kicking off hard. We thought we were even going to get a postponement further of the Patriots game that's being played right now, which I need to turn my game back on. I don't know what happened. But no, I did actually end up playing through. It was a very boring game. Watched the first half. Watched Brian Hoyer do little to nothing, and then Jared Stidham came in, and I started the podcast. So I had my fill. Damian Harris did get a lot of carries. Had 14 carries when I was coming in. I think it was in the third quarter. Maybe not in halftime. So fantasy implications. If you got a roster spot, worth the grab, even though historically you don't touch New England's running backs. All right, let's talk Cam Newton. So Newton was the big reason why Brian Hoyer and Stidham were playing in the first place. Cam Newton, the first real big name to come out with coronavirus this week. We found out I think it was Wednesday. Said he tested positive for COVID-19, won't be available for the Kansas City game. Jordan Ta'amu, a practice squad quarterback, who I think he was one of the XFL stars, if I remember correctly, was the Chiefs player who tested positive. Last night we received a notice that the Patriot player tested positive for COVID-19. The club said in a Saturday statement, player immediately entered self-quarantine. Several additional players, coaches, and staff have been in close contact with the player, received point-of-care tests all morning and were negative for COVID-19. So Cam got it. Really didn't seem to spread to anybody that we know of as of yet, but he's out for at least 3 weeks on the COVID IR. First major player to really do so. I know Adam Humphries is on there as well. That was really the other one that I'd heard of from Tennessee. But outside of that, it's been pretty good. They've been doing a pretty good job. Tennessee's really had the roughest time with this. So let's hope we can get through this week and feel good about where we're at with the NFL, because I do not like where the college football game is at. And I'm not into it. It's weird. All right, let's talk. So some of the games on Sunday, we had a lot of shit going. We'll talk fantasy implications and what all went on here in a second. But first comes first, we're going to talk about the Rams game. Family feud between Jalen Ramsey, Golden Tate. Golden Tate and Jalen Ramsey, it's personal. The two have off-field beef after Ramsey reportedly left Tate's sister last year while she was pregnant with their second child together. That personal drama played out on the field Sunday during and after a Los Angeles Rams 17-9 victory over the Giants. Things started to get chippy in the fourth quarter on a critical third down play. With 10:33 remaining, the Giants faced a 10-9 deficit on 3rd and 3. Quarterback Daniel Jones looked at Tate in a flat and play-action pass. Tate caught the ball short of the line of scrimmage where Ramsey met him. I was watching this game live. He fucking scooped him up and slammed him down. I didn't even realize it was Golden Tate until I saw the number. Fuck, dude. And then it all clicked. It's kind of funny because I've got actually a Golden Tate signed football right here beside me, Giants football. Rams Pro Bowl cornerback, known more for his elite coverage skills, delivered a hit on Tate that would have made the late, great Sean Taylor proud, driving the Giants receiver into the ground 4 yards short of the line of gain. It was a violent, legal hit, and it was pretty nasty. So I guess I'm not going to try to tell you what happened in the story, but Ramsey was married or dating Tate's sister. They had she was pregnant with baby number 2 of theirs. He ended up cheating on her with, like, I think it was a stripper, to be honest, if I remember correct. And then I think Tate showed up to his house one day and tried to confront him. So I think that's kind of where they left things, and that's why it got nasty. So this was the first time they've met since then. And the game itself was boring as hell. The Rams offense sucked ass. But everything else was pretty cool with this fight and shit. So pretty much wraps up your highlights of the Giants game. Not going to hear that shit very often. All right, we're going to jump into some fantasy. We're going to do what we call the fantasy freestyle. I'm just going to go around and talk about some big players, winners, losers. Right off the bat, you got to give it to Mr. Tom Brady. Early on, we projected Tom was going to be in the top 10 of QBs. We knew there was going to be some time it took to really get the kind of the gears clicking and everything going. We knew there was going to be a little bit of rust coming into a different kind of system. So it seems like week 4 really kind of showed, hey, this is what we can do. We're not there yet. They're not clicking on all cylinders yet. But you wait. They're going to get Godwin back in a few weeks. They're going to get Fournette back. It sounds like LaShawn McCoy's out as well for a few weeks. O.J. Howard's done, tore his Achilles. But you're going to see a pretty good Tampa Bay team come out of this. You're not going to have a sexy record at the end of the year, but I think you're going to have a really competitive team once they really get going. So it's good to see Brady come back. Brady ended up putting up 40-some fantasy points. Let me pull up my Yahoo. Like I said, my Yahoo has bonuses. So you will notice my numbers are slightly inflated than what all you guys are seeing. But we're going to pull up week 5. Down, boom. I'm going to try to. If I can find it, what the hell? I do this on my app all the time, and all of a sudden it's hard. Oh, there's no week 5 because we're in week 4, you dumb shit. All right, week 4, everybody. Let's see them. Let's go with QBs. So right off the bat, week 4, number 1 overall QB in fantasy points. It's going to blow your mind a little bit. Oh, I need to put all available now. I was like, there's no fucking way Sam Darnold's number 1. This guy, Dak Prescott, goes fucking off in this crazy loss to Cleveland. 67 points in my league. Tom Brady was number 2 with 48 points. Had a good-looking game. I was hoping Chargers would pull it out, but Brady actually did look good. And then fucking Joe Mixon, who I played in one of my leagues, also decided to go off. 46 points. And this next one hurt, guys. I traded for George Kittle last week. And I originally had him starting. My gut feeling is I love Kittle and I want to play him. He helped me win last year. I put him in, and I just keep seeing all week Fantasy Pros and all these, big time fantasy sites. Hey, Darrell Henderson, he's about to go off. He's going to go off. He got 20 points the last 2 weeks. So I rolled the dice and I was like, I'll trust the experts. And I put Darrell Henderson in and I set George Kittle. Well, Darrell Henderson ended up with 4 fucking points. Kittle ended up with 44. And I probably lost a week because of that. And he was the fourth best fantasy player on the week. So, yeah, fuck me, right? But whatever. Fantasy is fantasy. Odell Beckham Jr. decided to show up this week. Let me check his stats out. It was pretty off the chain. 8 targets, 5 receptions, 81 yards, 2 touchdowns. Beautiful pass caught from Jarvis Landry in the end zone. It was fantastic. After that, you got Amari Cooper, who is killing it on targets. If you guys own Amari Cooper, stop pissing about the fucking volatility. He's going to have down games. Look at his shit this year. 18 points, 21 points, 17 points, 35 points. Let's talk targets. Week 1, 14, 9 targets week 2, 12 week 3, 16. This is a guy you're going to have to go after, guys. This is a guy, as long as he can stay healthy, he's going to win somebody a league. And with how Dak is, I think Zach is totally on on point with him guessing that Dak Prescott was going to be the number one QB. Because as of right now, he is murdering it. So Cooper is his favorite target. And that's just how it's falling down. So keep an eye out. Go after these guys. Find these people and trade for them, man. We're going to go over some trade techniques here in a minute and how I kind of value all this kind of stuff. Shortly we will. Next one up, Justin Herbert, guys. I actually picked him up in my FFL league. I got some bye weeks coming up, not too soon, but honestly, what he's done has been pretty fantastic. If you listen to the podcast regularly, we did the draft coverage. I was very upset when they drafted Justin Herbert. I didn't like his tape. I thought he was a system QB. Definitely poised, has the frame for a perfect, fucking hard-on of an NFL quarterback. Any scout's going to be rubbing himself like, yeah, 6'5" or whatever the fuck he is. He just looked like he was just fucking full of screen passes and slants and looked like he ran an Oregon system. So I wasn't pumped. I wanted to. They drafted Herbert. I had very low expectations. And this dude has shut me up. Justin, you have looked fantastic. You have given life to this Chargers team. I love Tyrod. I think he's a great backup. But he better not see the field again. You have done more than enough to win the job. He was 20 for 25 last week, 290, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. He's had a pick every game. He's not winning games yet. That's the problem. But he's utilizing the players in this offense. Our defense is crippled almost. We've gotten so many injuries. Offense is getting that way after losing Austin Eckler, which, by the way, is out up to 6 weeks. If you guys don't have Justin Jackson or Joshua Kelly, you're an idiot. And it's probably too late to get them now. Joshua Kelly is the first one to grab, though. But Herbert put up 34 points last week, 23 the week before, and 29 before that. Show me a fucking rookie quarterback that's doing that. He's only 16% rostered. So I hopped on the Herbert train, get him as my backup. The next guy I am falling in love with, CeeDee Lamb out of Oklahoma. Dallas wide receiver, the rookie. This guy's been killing it, guys. Targets, 6 week 1, 9 week 2, 7 and 7, 3 and 4. 10 points, 18 points, 13 points, 33. This guy's legit. On a team where he has a ton of weapons and Amari Cooper on there, this guy is a close second. I know we like Michael Gallup, his abilities there. Dak literally can't throw the ball enough for all the weapons he's got. They're going to have to eventually get rid of some of these guys. But like with CeeDee Lamb, man, crazy. I thought Jerry Jeudy would be the standout. Doesn't have the quarterback in Denver to really kind of help him along with that. So CeeDee Lamb is taking advantage. Looking really, really good. I want to say most people got CeeDee Lamb in like the 4th, 5th, 6th round. I can't remember where Friendly drafted him. But regardless, great fucking steal. Don't let that one go. Lamar Jackson bounced back against Washington with a good game. 23 fantasy points. Is that it? No, that's projected. 34. I'm sorry. No, 32. Russell Wilson shortly after that. Josh Allen. Melvin Gordon in the absence of Phillip Lindsay, which I think he might be back next week, put up 31. Watson came out and put up 30 points. Pretty much garbage time last quarter. Darnold did everything he could. I really hope, for the record, you guys know I hate Adam Gase. I really like Sam Darnold. Do I think he is the top quarterback that's going to be, NFL for 10 seasons? I'm not sure. But do I think he's getting a fair shake at it with Adam Gase? Fuck no. Look at Ryan Tannehill when he was in Miami. Same thing happened there. There's just a ton of players that he's shit on. Gase doesn't know what he's doing. Gase needs to be fired. They need to bring somebody in that's got some kind of mindset that's not some fucking coked out, kooky, crazy dude, and let him teach. But until then, I'm not giving up on Darnold. I know a lot of people are. Mike Evans after that, putting up 30 points, fucking limping around half the game. Crazy. Teddy Bridgewater puts up 30. This guy, he's going to be your bye week hero. Definitely if he's on your waivers and you got bye weeks coming up, scoop up Teddy Bridgewater. He is doing it, guys. Dalvin Cook right after him with 29 points. The reemergence of DJ Chark, 29 points. I believe he scored 2 touchdowns. Went 8 for 9, 95 yards and 2 touchdowns. Fantastic job for Chark. They're glad to have him back. Fitzpatrick, 29 points after that. Stafford, Haskins, Minshew, Wentz, quarterbacks in a row. And then we got Mr. Tim Patrick. Went up 28 points, 6 for 7, 113 and 1. I know there's not a lot to look forward to in Denver right now, but that's pretty much all you got. So, after that, you got Will Fuller, who decided to get off the fucking stretching table and catch some passes. Did pretty good. Put up 27 points for me in my SFL league. I'm trying to figure out why my game keeps kicking off. Sorry, I'm trying to watch the Packers right now, and it's just giving me problems. I'm going to go ahead and just try to hook it up. Actually, if you've ever watched if you have the Yahoo Fantasy app, holy shit, Matt Ryan's got 4 points going almost halftime. I'll be damned. Well, this has been a fantastic week. Okay, game's back up. But yeah, that's our top earners for this week. We're going to go through and just have some tidbits as I look through stats and whatnot. So we talked about Tom Brady. Joe Mixon, he was the guy that we were talking about the last few weeks, trade for, get his ass. As they start to respect Joe Burrow more in the passing game, which he is legit good, they are going to open up the run game for Joe Mixon, and you saw that this week. Nick Chubb, among one of the big injuries this week. Sounds like he's going to be out at least 3 weeks with an MCL. He's on IR right now. Kareem Hunt's going to get the main bulk of it. He already has a role with Nick Chubb in it. Dearness Johnson will be the guy right behind him. We talked about Herbert. Yeah, we talked about Eckler's injury. Not good. Justin Jackson, Joshua Kelly's the guys to go to. But to be honest, guys, they're probably going to split it up. It's not going to be like a Mike Davis situation where Davis comes in and basically plays like fucking great value Christian McCaffrey. It's just not going to work like that. These guys are going to split snaps. There wasn't a lot of points to begin with. Eckler was mostly getting his points off passes, which neither one of these guys have really fine-tuned. So don't get your hopes up too high. Keep them in check. But they are worth an own. If they're on the waiver wire, Joshua Kelly's your first pickup. Justin Jackson more so if you just have somebody expendable. It's worth a shot. Somebody asked me, Odell Beckham, is he back or is this a fluke? Good question. First off, I think this has nothing to do with OBJ. I think this has everything to do with Baker Mayfield. Baker looked like he was trying to get OBJ involved for the first time. I've watched a lot of Browns games where they've tried to make him the focal point, but it seemed forced. This was the first game where they said, we're going to build around this fucking superstar talent we've got. And you're going to put the ball in his hands. And you've seen what happened. They went balls for the walls, and they kicked the shit out of Dallas. Dallas made a late push. Didn't work, though. So do I think he's back? No, I think you got a rocky road ahead. But I think you're going to see a lot more ups than downs going forward. You're going to see some downs. We're not fixed. He's going to be a high upside wide receiver, too, for me, until we at least get a few more games like this under our belt, and I can see that Baker Mayfield can remain consistent in getting him the ball. Jarvis, I think we kind of really learned what Jarvis is to that offense, and he's kind of a complimentary piece, to be honest. He's kind of there to help take over, run some trick plays, possession receiver. He had a few deep throws, but, I mean, they weren't even accurate. They weren't even close. So, OBJ's your guy there. Mike Davis, Carolina Panthers. I picked up him. I've got Christian McCaffrey in my FFL league. And I had to get Mike Davis as soon as that. I know with my history with Mike Davis, he's a pretty good fill-in. He's a good running back. So Davis has done a great job of basically filling in for his shoes and playing similar. He's got 13 of 15 targets for 72 yards since Christian's been out. And he gets Atlanta's defense next week. So I'm pretty pumped about that. And Chris, you're welcome because a friend of mine in the SFL league had Christian McCaffrey in another league. And he got hurt, and I didn't swoop up Mike Davis. I instead messaged him and said, you better swoop Mike Davis because he's going to help you out. Shit, I should have got him. DK Metcalf did pretty good this week. Seattle did not look like themselves for a while. But let's talk about Kenyon Drake. I got problems with Kenyon Drake. I own Kenyon Drake in the SFL. And he was high on my list, but I knew they were going to start, focusing more on the pass. So besides the fact that, they're not running the ball like they were, and he's not getting any passes. He's had like 3 targets in his whole season. That's what's killing on points. But Drake, when you watch him run, it doesn't seem like himself. I watched him last week. keeps trying to push it to the outside or going right into the middle, running into traps. He's not making good cuts. He's not making good decisions. He's missing lanes. I don't get it. It's not him. And it makes me worried because Chase Edmonds is right at his heels. He can catch the ball. What's really scary is Kenyon will be in there and they won't throw it to him. Chase Edmonds comes in, he's fucking tossing him left and right. So if you're a Drake owner, you better own Edmonds. And if Edmonds is on the wire, be a prick and go get him. Because I'm anticipating at least a split in the future to where you see these guys share snaps, or straight up Edmonds takes over. Because in that kind of air raid offense, you don't need a powerhouse running back like a Kenyon Drake, Ezekiel Elliott. You just need a piece to kind of fill in, get a few tough yards here and there, keep it switched up, and be able to catch the ball. And Edmonds can do so, apparently better than Drake. Andrews had a good week, as did Marquise Brown, who I traded away for George Kittle. I was done with waiting for Lamar to come around. He's still a good grab. Him and Mark Andrews did really well. Justin Jefferson, a guy I drafted along with Brandon Ayuk, did really well again. He's got a total 11 of his 14 targets for 278 over the last 2 weeks. It seems like there's some actual trust being built there. So if the Vikings can figure out a way to win using this high-powered offense, Justin Jefferson is legit, guys. He kind of reminds me of a little bit taller version of Calvin Ridley when he got a little bit thin, great hands, and they're starting to realize they can trust the hell out of this guy. So watch out, because you're watching Calvin Ridley break out this year. Antonio Gibson, welcome to the breaking out party. Had a great game this week. Kind of proved that he's the guy in Washington. He'll be a RB2 going forward, and if he breaks out like a lot of people expect, don't be surprised by the end of the season that you got an RB1 that you got in the 6th round, homie. T.Y. Hilton, borderline drop candidate, 5 targets this week. They're just not throwing the ball as much. Week 1 they threw it over 50 times. Every other week it's been under 30. You're just not going to see it. They're going to run the ball first. If you've got T.Y., you're doing one of two things. You're either going to have to bench him, wait for him to have a really, really good game and try to sell him, or you're just going to have to fucking give up, man. It's not going to work. He's not the guy we thought he was. We talked about Darrell Henderson's disappointment, Austin Eckler's injury. Let's see what else. Tim Patrick, we talked a little bit about him. He was actually the go-to receiver for the Broncos. 6 passes for 113. Jerry Jeudy was very similar. 61 yards and a score. Goal line is more impressive than it sounds given the degree of difficulty on his long touchdown catch. Blah, 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 blah. Devontae Parker had a good game. Gesicki was kind of quiet. Had a really nice catch, though. Mixon blew up this week. Chenault is having a good year for Jaguars. If he is on your waiver wire, which most people think he is just because you don't know the name, you need to check that guy out. AJ Green, God, I just feel like this might be the end for AJ. He got hurt again at the end of the game. He's just not looking like himself. AJ was always, I watched AJ play live in college. He came to Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State was ranked, if I can remember this right, we were ranked 3 or 5 in the nation. I think Georgia was ranked 9, maybe higher than that. They came to Oklahoma State. Des Bryant was on the cover of Sports Illustrated. AJ Green comes to town and puts on a clinic. Oklahoma State somehow pulls it out and actually wins. But to be able to watch Des Bryant and AJ Green both play in the same game at a Boone Pickens Stadium was sick. Something I'll never forget. I don't know how the Packers are fucking completing passes. They have no wide receivers left. But yeah, AJ Green. Yeah, I think his career is wrapping up, guys. I actually moved him last week and traded him in one of my leagues, thank God, because I had a feeling it just wasn't going to come together for him. So you can either get him cheap now if you're expecting a bounce back, or I think it's time to bite the bullet, guys. Especially with T. Higgins coming around in Cincinnati, I think AJ Green era is complete. Another loser to talk about, Brandon Cooks. Drop his ass. Unless you're in some deep-ass league where you're just hoping you got room for and just, you can cross your fingers and wish the best. Oh, touchdown Packers. Drop Brandon Cooks. Not happening. He's been burnt out for a while. I called it a few weeks ago. This guy's going to probably not be in the NFL in a year, maybe by next year. But Fuller's the guy there. Randall Cobb has actually been very, very nice. He's been playing well, and he's becoming reliable. And one thing you're going to notice after Bill O'Brien gets fired today, because he did, the piece of shit, you're going to see, I guarantee it, they're going to bring somebody in. Offensive-minded, like Sean McVay, Shanahan, all these sexy hires, and they're going to put them up and team them up with Deshaun. And it's going to turn that offense around. And I think Brandon Cooks is not going to be a part of it. They may turn him into like a jet sweep guy. I don't know. I don't know his strengths, to be honest. But, yeah, if you're not in a huge league, 14, 16 team league, just drop him. He's not helping you. We talked about Nick Chubb and the Browns. Impressive showing this week. Cowboys, we know. I mean, everybody's there. The big one talk about Dalton Schultz, but did get hurt at the end of the game. If you need a tight end, I played this guy in DFS this weekend, and he wanted me some money. So he did really well. A lot of passes going around at Dallas. Get your hands on anybody. We watched the Baltimore Ravens, and we still think the backfield is still a fucking cluster. Gus Edwards, Mark Ingram, J.K. Dobbins, they're all splitting snaps. Ingram got a touchdown, but had a shitty game. What else we got? Hopefully we see Michael Thomas next week. I'm hoping. I had one guy ask me about Marvin Jones. Is it time to give up on Marvin Jones? Man, I've played fantasy for almost 10 years now, and I will say one thing about Marvin Jones: he is one of the most volatile players I've ever seen. There was one season I remember he was putting up 2, 3, 4 points a game, set on my waiver wire, and then nothing changed. Nobody got hurt, nothing, and then for like 6 weeks in a row, he was putting up 30 fucking points every week. I don't know if that's Matt Stafford. I don't know if that's the offense, if that's what they do. But I have a hard time giving up on him. If you've got a bench spot, stash him, because I think he's going to come around. Galladay's back. He's getting a lot of attention right now. I think the defenses will adjust to that, and you'll start to see Marvin Jones open up for those really deep passes again. So Drake sucks. Edmonds is on deck. Robbie Anderson, if you got him up from the waiver wires in like week 1 or 2, congratulations. You just got a top 20 wide receiver. Fantastic. He's the go-to guy. Even though I drafted DJ Moore in my SFL, and he's still getting the targets, but he's just not the sexy pick. Eckler's out 6 weeks probably. Mike Evans limping, probably going to play next week. Fournette, haven't heard an update. Rojo didn't do bad. Devonta Freeman came back for the Giants. Didn't have a sexy stat line, but looked pretty good. So you might actually have something. I have some people that pick up Devonta Freeman in my league, and I wasn't too crazy about it until I saw him play, and I was like, whoa. I guess I keep thinking of Devonta Freeman as this old fucking washed up dude, but not bad. He is the Giants. He's not going to be super sexy, and he's damn sure no Saquon. But no, you could do a lot worse. Josh Allen, Josh Jacobs, Foles. Look, guys, I've been saying it for years. I like Nick Foles. He is capable of a lot of things, but he is not a very good quarterback. I don't care if he won a Super Bowl. I don't give a shit. He is not a very good quarterback because he cannot be consistent. That's why he hasn't been at a starting job for very long. So, yeah, he can come around. He's a little bit better for Allen Robinson because Trubisky is just so inaccurate. But, I mean, don't be surprised if they're going to look elsewhere after Foles fails, because we're already starting to see it. Zach Ertz, man, there is no bigger shitstorm right now, guys, than the Philadelphia Eagles. I know I'm just hopping all over the place. It's because I'm fucking drinking, and I'm just going through the list, looking at stats, freestyling. Fantasy freestyle, guys. Who was I talking about? Oh, yeah, the Eagles. God, I watched the Eagles game because I have Miles Sanders in both leagues. Such a talented guy. The absolute worst dog shit of an offensive line I've seen in years is the Philadelphia Eagles. They have so many injuries. Who the fuck are they throwing the ball to? Greg Ward? Like, Ertz is there, and he's the only name you can even freaking recognize. Like, it's crazy. I told everybody in my fantasy league it was like watching people off Madden Ultimate Team play as soon as you start a team. You get all these fourth rounders and shit on your team, and you've got like 2 stars. So they've got a lot of work to do. Philadelphia is in for it. And I'm kind of afraid Carson Wentz is going to get the brunt of this. I don't think this is Carson Wentz's fault. I think Wentz is still a very good quarterback. If I had an offensive line that looked that bad, I don't care how good I was. You could put Patrick Mahomes in that offense with that offensive line. Not going to happen, man. The line is so bad. So bad. He has no time. And they're just not getting anything done. Kind of like the Falcons right now. 20-3, about to go into halftime. Matt Ryan drops back, and he's fucking sacked. Good job. Jesus. But, yeah, if you're an Eagles fan, man, you're getting it this time. Fucking karma, bitch. For that 1 year you guys won and wouldn't shut up about it. You're getting it pretty rough. Nobody's going to take Alshon either. Stop trying to trade him. Let's talk about the 49ers. Kendrick Bourne was credited with a 3-yard touchdown in the second and goal in the fourth quarter, but reviewed showed it was down just short of the goal line. This allowed Jerick McKinnon to come back in. So we're also on the verge of a Raheem Mostert return, possibly in Week 5. So the good thing with that is it's kind of a committee. For the most part, Mostert's the man, who is good, by the way. He's kind of proved me wrong, because I thought he was just a product of the system. But they've got some real talent there. But it is a really good system as well. So keep your eyes on that, because there's a lot. They got Jeff Wilson floating around. You got Raheem Mostert. You got Jerick McKinnon. A lot of weapons. Even with the Deebo Samuel, a lot of people picked him up last week, and I think Deebo only got like 3 targets. Ayuk was the real guy. So I don't want to say he's going to be the guy forever, because Nate Mullins was throwing it. Even with Kittle. I don't know that Jimmy G's going to throw to Kittle like that. Fuck, I hope so, though. We had some good games this week, but man, COVID season, guys, is hitting us hard. So we're going to give you a few little tidbits on how I'm running my team with COVID. So my league is set up where I've got 2 IR spots that are specifically for COVID designations only, no injuries. I extended my bench to 6, where it's usually 5. I have no tight end spot. I have an extra flex spot to allow us for a little bit of flexibility with talent. But how I'm personally running my team is you got to make sure you don't have a bunch of the same team. Do not have all your eggs in one basket. If I've got 3 Patriots on my starting roster for my fantasy team, and they have 5 people test positive for COVID next week, I'm losing next week, guys. Very few teams can hold on and lose fucking 3, 4, 5 starters and be able to replace them. So you've got to make sure that you're diversified. If you've got multiple players on the same team, you need to do some trading, okay? I know it's very unlikely if you got Austin Eckler and you got Keenan Allen on the same team that they're going to get COVID, but it's not about them getting COVID. It's about the contact tracing. Let's say a staffer on the Chargers gets it, and they trace that contact tracing back, and they find out Keenan Allen and Austin Eckler were both near the guy. Those guys are both out 3 weeks, okay? Unless they can come back and test negative. So you're definitely going to probably miss a game at least with them. You got to be careful. Do not put all your eggs in one basket. Make sure you're diversified. The other thing you got to look for is you got to have a bench. I know some people are all about starters. Well, starters is where your points come from. You don't get points on the bench. That's true. But like this week, James Conner. There's a lot of people expected to play James Conner this week. Yeah, that didn't happen. So now you're plugging in your backup running back, and it might be a really close matchup as it is. So you got to have some talent on the bench. I've got guys on my bench from my big FFL league, like Mark Ingram, Justin Jefferson's on my bench. I've got a little bit of a spot for everywhere. I drafted George Kittle to be one of my flex players, I traded for him, sorry. But I've got guys to back him up left and right. And I'm starting to do that with my QBs as well. That's why I picked up Herbert. But yeah, keep diversified. Make sure you know what's going on. Stay with the news. So if you don't follow things like SleeperBot, My Fantasy Pros, these services have like real-time news. And on Twitter, if you're savvy, start looking around for beat writers, all kinds of stuff like that. You can get this information in real time. That is a big reason I've won waiver claims so many times with these high-end players is I get the news first. If I hear it first, boom. And the third thing, this is probably the number one thing I tell anybody before we start fantasy, is you better know your depth chart. If you're the guy that's got to Google a depth chart when somebody gets hurt when you're watching a game, you already lost. Because there's 8 other people out there that already know it, and they're already looking up the guy to grab him. That's the only reason I was able to get Mike Davis, Justin Jefferson, as soon as his game went off. Of course, nobody got hurt in front of him. Benny Snell, when Connor went out. You got to know these people. Everybody's. You need to know the depth chart of every team in the NFL. You need to know their QB, the wide receiver, the running back, possibly the tight end. You got to know these things. I should be able to say, hey, Ezekiel Elliott just went down. Who's his backup? Tony Pollard. You know that. And Tony Pollard would be a fucking stud of a running back. Okay, Austin Eckler just went down. Joshua Kelly. Okay, Joe Mixon's hurt. Gio Bernard. And then you look at wide receivers and you're like, okay, OBJ just got hurt. Jarvis Landry and my new number 1. Oh, that was a pretty pass. Oh, it was from Sunday. It was the Bills. But stuff like that, guys, you got to know the landscape. Okay, so we have to understand you can't have the same teammates on your team. It's really going to wreck you. I mean, it's a bold move. If you want to try it, go for it. But I'm telling you, if that team gets fucking COVID, you're in trouble, man. Diversify. Keep them diversified. Trade around. And you got to trade. I don't understand these people that are like, we don't need to trade. You should be coming up with trades every day. Trying new stuff. See what you can get for this guy. I heard on the Fantasy Footballers today, I think it was, I was listening, and he was like, there's always that one guy in the league that overvalues weekly, like, huge games. And we have that in our league. Every league I am has got at least 1 or 2 people like that. So, like, Justin Jefferson comes down and has a 47-point game. I'm like, hell yeah, who wants to? I start throwing trades out there with Jefferson, all kinds of stuff like that. That's how I was able to get DeAndre Hopkins in my SFL league. That's how I was able to get Michael Thomas in my SFL league. I've traded for both of those guys. And guess what? I'm 0-4. Fuck. Oh, shit. But I've got a really good team. They're just not playing well. And I got my ass beat by Brendan. Thank you, Brendan, for the 100-point hanging on me, brother. But it takes a lot of stuff, guys. You got to know the landscape. Know who's there. Get ready for the waivers. And you got to work the waivers hard. If you look at that league listing and you look at the amount of moves you've made and you're towards the bottom of the list, you're fucked, bro. You need to be making moves constantly. If a little bit of news comes out that puts a running back at a possible injury, you should know the backup's name and you should be telling yourself, this is the first one to go if I got to pick him up. You should always at every point know who's going to be dropped next, who's my next pickup. You should already have your streaming defenses, your kickers, even wide receivers or whoever you're streaming the week before it happens. Okay, you want to be a winner? That's how it's going to happen. Okay, I could talk all day about fucking season-long fantasy shit. If you guys got any questions, hit us up on Instagram. I'm going to call it a night so I can get back and watch the second half of this shit show of a game where Matt Ryan has no touchdowns. That's awesome. It's crazy awesome. So, but hit us up on Instagram. Just pick whatever post, the latest post we got. Put the comment on there. I get that stuff straight to my phone. Any kind of fantasy football question, help you needed, long. I don't care if it's season-long trades, dynasty, auction stuff. I don't care. Whatever you got, give me a nice little paragraph of what's going on. Give me some context. Give me some scoring. If PPR, half-point PPR, whatever you got, and I'll give you the best I got, okay? And I have people that come back each week, so, I mean, that says something. So if you guys need any help, feel free to hit us up. Check out our YouTube as well. I'm going to try to start doing some little snippets once we get the little setup for the studio actually going. I've got the little table and all, like my audio and stuff's right here now. But once it's really comfortable with the camera and all of our supplies are set up, I'm going to start doing some little one-offs. Maybe after the Monday night game, do a 10-minute video talking about what I saw and what could happen for next week, stuff like that. So if you got any ideas, hit us up in the comments and let us know. Check out our YouTube. It's listed on our Instagram's page, the bio link. Please subscribe and like and click that little bell because you're going to start seeing all these podcasts go live. So we're going to have live video and they'll be broadcasted live on YouTube every week. And you'll be able to rewatch them whenever you want. And they'll also go up on all of our normal services, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Breaker, I don't know, tons of other ones. But check out the YouTube. Make sure you got the notifications set on that. and you'll be able to get all the good info. What else we got? I think that's it, man. I can't believe that motherfucker got 130 years in prison for the mayonnaise. That's some shit Friendly would do. But all right, guys, I'm going to wrap this up and go finish watching some football, have another whiskey and ginger ale. Probably need to eat some dinner. Probably should do that. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out again. We appreciate you every time. Couldn't do the podcast without you. You know that. Not going anywhere anytime soon. I look forward to showing you our new YouTube studio pretty soon. I got some pictures up. I've been debating about putting them on Instagram. So let me know on Instagram if you want to see those. Or Facebook or wherever you hang out with us online. All the advice is good for to go. You know, just comment on there and we'll take care of you. That's it for this week, guys. I'm going to hang it up. Thanks for hanging out. This is Sean. And from the Under Construction Yelling from the Stand Studios. Have a great night.